Hello and welcome back. This is video number 2. So let's talk about the advantages of having a website that loads really fast. So you already have a glimpse of why site speed is important, but to ensure that we're on the same page, let's discuss why you need to speed up your WordPress site. Now, like I said earlier, there are two major factors at play here. First, we have user experience, and of course, secondly, we have search engine ranking factors. Now, they're both very important, but in reality, you should focus on making sure that the user experience is the best it can be, because if you can think about it, that is who you are trying to impress. That is who you're trying to engage, and ultimately that is who is going to take action, whether that be sign up on your list, buy your product, follow you, become your fan of your brand. So ultimately, like I said, that is who you're trying to impress. Because at the end of the day, even though Google and other search engines change their algorithm, if you look at a long-term view, getting that user the best experience possible will actually impact your search engine ranking. Because at the end of the day, Google and other search engines, their goal is to impress upon the person who is looking for your website. They go to Google, they search, and that is their customer. You are not Google's customer. That is their customer. So that is your customer as well. All right. So it's easy to get in the mindset of, oh, I just want to get rankings, I just want to get traffic, but what then? You get the traffic and then the person who's coming to your site isn't interested and they skip your site and they go to somebody else's. If you impress upon them, you will impress Google. Now, if you think about it for just a second, as information becomes easily accessible within seconds, the human attention span actually gets shorter and shorter. If you think about back in the day, like decades ago, when we didn't have the internet, information was not easily accessible. And because it is now and the demand for data increases and people's patience become shorter, they're able to get information instantly with their smartphones and their tablets and all of that. The patience essentially becomes shorter. So their patience becomes shorter. And as it becomes shorter, so does their patience for your site load speed. So it just makes sense when you look at it that way. The longer your visitors stay, the lower your bounce rate is, which is a technical term for prospects leaving your site. So your goal at the end of the day is to get a lower bounce rate. You don't want a higher bounce rate, you want a lower bounce rate. For example, if somebody goes to Google and they type in a keyword phrase, let's say scuba diving, and they come to your website, they leave, and they go back to Google within seconds. This is what we call bounce rate. If you have a lot of people, let's say out of 100 people, you have 99 people that come to your website and within seconds leave and then go back to Google, Google can detect this and they can see that, okay, for some weird reason, people are going to your site and leaving within seconds. So your site must not be relevant. Your site must not be what they're looking for. And therefore, we're going to rank you lower. All right. So if a large amount of people are doing this, then Google knows that your site is irrelevant. It doesn't have good content. Or even if it does, that is what they assume, or the site loads slowly. So if you think about it from that kind of standpoint and you adjust the user experience to be the best it can be, you will actually win the Google search engine game. And that is how you kill two birds with one stone. In other words, win in both areas by really focusing on the user experience first, and then the SEO and all that will come along the way. And even if you're not 100% being optimized to SEO, you will win the game in the long run. Because people will love your site. So out of 100 people, you may have 50 people who come and go, but you'll have 50 people who stay for anywhere from 15 minutes to 30 minutes to an hour. And that tells Google you will have a 50% bounce rate. So 50% of the people are coming and then going, but 50% of the people are staying and they're liking your content. Now, if you have a lower bounce rate, let's say, for example, 10%, and then the 90 out of 100 people are staying for a long period of time, that tells Google, hey, wait a minute, this site must be extremely relevant. People are obviously staying on the site for a long period of time, and therefore, this site must be relevant, this site must be good, and we'll rank it higher. You see what I mean? So now that you have a basic premise of what to look for and what to focus on, let's move on to video number 3 and talk about what slows your site down.